and welcome to Whatever Happened to the Gentleman. I'm Sam Morris, and this is the first episode of 2025. I'm so excited to be here with you. I have taken a little bit of a break from podcasting on this podcast. I have been a guest on quite a few podcasts over in December, but as you all know, or maybe this is the first time you're listening to me, I do have 2 children. Podcasting whilst being in a house with 2 children is extremely difficult, and to save myself kind of hassle and trying to make them stay quiet, I just thought I'll take a break, and that's what I've done. But now I'm back and I'm so excited for 2025. I have guests coming on. I have more and more stuff to share with you that is just going to change the way that you thought things should be. And to start you off on that journey, episode 16 is how to make your 2025 the best year you've had so far. This episode was actually a live workshop that I did with the people on my email list. There may be parts of it where you don't completely understand if I'm saying, look at this. I do urge you to go over to YouTube and watch the video as well, because that will make more sense. There is a PowerPoint, it's not a boring one. I made the workshop because I was so tired of seeing people saying they're going to do amazing things, and then every year February comes and they're back to their usual self. And part of the reason is they don't have a plan. I used to be that person. I'm not that person anymore, and I don't want you to be that person anymore either. So listen along to the live workshop. Take as much time as you need. Actually, with the podcast, instead of being live, you can pause it and you can make your notes. Get yourself a pen and paper and get ready to make your 2025 the best year that you have ever had. Is everyone tired of hearing about the new year, new me? Or this year's been massive for it, the 2024 highlight reels all over social media, where this is my great 2024 and 2025 is going to be even better. I deliberately didn't post one of those reels. My 2024 has been nice, but I work with a lot of people where it hasn't, and their kind of perception and the way that they feel about social media when they see things like that, it doesn't make them feel good. And I didn't want to feed into that. Most of those people will be back to their non-posting selves at the end of the month, maybe. Because most of those people that set New Year's resolutions realise that resolutions don't always work. Near enough impossible to work unless you have something in place to make that happen. I don't know if anyone is a member of a gym, but you may have noticed there are a lot more members this week. And that's not to shame anyone, because that was me 13 years ago, where I was, this year I'm going to lose weight, this year I'm going to be skinny, this year I'm going to make lots of money. And then it would get to the end of the month and I would stop. But I would carry on paying my gym membership, because that would be acknowledging my fail, or what I thought was a fail from me. But there was a reason. I hadn't planned. And when I started dating again, it was the same thing. You might know my story. You might not know my story. I'm not going to go massively into detail about it because it's not about me. This is about you. But when I started dating again, I was broken. I was broken from my childhood. I was broken from every single relationship that I'd ever had. There was a huge pattern between all of that. And even the friends that I attracted were just not people that were good for me and good for my soul. So when I started dating again, I started attracting the same kind of people. Some people have heard about my story about the guy in the tracksuit and on the date. It was just a nightmare. And I realised there's a connection between my gym problem and my dating problem that I hadn't planned out exactly what I needed to do. So when I got a trainer at the gym who said to me, write down exactly what you're eating all week. And then when I showed it to him, he literally ripped it to shreds and was like, no, you can't eat that. That's disgusting. And then he wrote me out a new plan with foods that still tasted good, but weren't as bad for me. I started losing weight. And when I sat back and started working on myself and looking at what I needed to heal from, looking at my past and what I wanted from the future, that was when things really started to change for me. Get rid of the fear of rejection, build up my confidence. So, when was the last time that you planned out your year? I want to play a little video for you just to show you what happens when you set a goal and everyone around you doesn't believe that it's going to happen and you achieve it anyway. You might have seen this before, but
Hi, what's your name, darling?
My name is Susan Boyle.
Okay, Susan, where are you from?
I am from Blackburn near Bathgate, West Lothian.
It's a big town.
It's a sort of collection of villages. That's a thing here.
And how old are you, Susan?
I am 47. And that's just one side of me.
Okay, what's the dream?
I'm trying to be a professional singer.
And why hasn't it worked out so far, Susan?
I've never been given the chance before, but here's hoping it will change.
Okay, and who would you like to be as successful as?
Elaine Page.
Elaine Page.
Like
What are you going to sing tonight?
I'm going to sing I Dreamed a Dream from the SMr&x.
Okay. It's on. Yeah.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
now all of those people, first impressions of Susan Boyle coming out on the stage, and I remember watching this live, was that this woman's not going to be able to sing. And she went off and obviously she made a lot of money just from her dream of being able to sing. But she didn't change that much. She actually still lives in the same village that she was in before. she's probably got a few nicer things, and she has kind of upgraded her hairdresser. But other than that, and it just took a dream, and it didn't matter that anyone else didn't believe. So when I try and work out what I'm going to do for the year, I break it down for myself, and I do this for my clients as well, in the same way that I break down business goals. And I break it into quarters. So 3 monthly goals. It makes it simple, achievable, because you haven't got, oh, I've got 6 months to do that. You haven't, you've got 3. So the first thing that I want you to do, I hope that you have got a pen and a paper, is I want you to write down 3 goals. And let me just share my screen again. I normally ask for people to pick their goals from this list. So this is just something that I created based on lots of different theories of how to have the best life. Ignore the inner peace, because really you can't get that unless you have all the other things. But it is these 7 things. If you manage to achieve great things in them, your life will be great. And that is work and knowledge, love, social or community. And if you're kind of wondering, oh, how can I build a community? I work with a lot of people that don't have many friends and they don't know how to kind of put themselves out there. I always say go and volunteer, because you have to talk to people if you're volunteering. You've got no choice, but it builds up a confidence in you, because you just naturally go along with it, and it makes you feel good about yourself. Your emotional well-being, so your mental health, your anxiety, your physical health, so that could be the gym, that could be eating more vegetables. Leisure and pleasure, so something that you want to do for fun, and obviously inner peace. So write down 3 goals. One can be like a tiny little one, and then a medium, and then a big goal, something that you would like to really achieve, but it's not so simple. My small goal is actually to spend 10 minutes a day with each of my children. I've got 2 children, and that is my very small goal, to try and do that a couple of times a week. Just because 10 minutes, it's not a lot, it's not a massive amount of my time, but it will make a massive difference to our relationship, and I know this. Once you have them down, if you could just put a yes, a Y in the comments. Sorry, I'm back. Now I want you to think about your big, scary, the most scariest goal. If I said to you, you have a genie in a lamp, you can rub it, and you've got 1 wish, what would that big, just crazy goal be? And I don't want you to get into your head about, oh, I can't achieve that. Just write down the first thing. And if you can get a blank piece of paper and section it off into 4, I think you might be able to see what I've done here. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, we're just working on Q1, which is January to the end of March. And I want you to pick one of your goals for Q1. If your super small goal is so easy that you could achieve it this week, then maybe pick 2 goals. But you might want to do this and re-listen on the replay just so that you can actually sit with this and work it out. And I want you to ask yourself the questions. What has stopped you from achieving this goal so far? The next question, what do you need to let go of to achieve it? It could be something really, really simple. And lastly, what would your life look like if you had that goal? So now you've got your goal down. You know what's holding you back. You know how, or you know what it's going to look like. And I want you to do a little mind map, which not everyone knows what a mind map is, but I don't know whether we're even allowed to call them a mind map anymore. But it's basically this. And I want you to put your goal in the middle, and then the outside are the different steps that you're going to take to get to that goal. So with this one, and this is one that I have done with one of my clients, to start dating with curiosity and joy instead of anxiety. And the little things that came off from that, the things that needed to be done, was to build confidence, get over the fear of rejection, to look at the triggers to all of that, and to learn how to talk to people. And each of those steps, you can then break it down into littler steps. And these are the things that you can start doing straight away. So you want to build confidence, daily self-talk, your gratitude journal. A lot of people have had my self-love blueprint. Some people have got the self-love card. Some other people have got the journal. You can start that straight away. And once you've got your little tiny steps, I want you to put this map up somewhere where you can see it regularly. I have, obviously you can't see this, but behind my laptop, I have a big pin board that has my dream house on it. And it has my goals on it, and it has a little saying, I believe the world is plotting to do me good today, and I can't wait to see what it is. Put your mind map somewhere that you can see it, and commit to doing at least one of those things every single day. So obviously not the big massive things, you can't do that daily, but simple things like talking to yourself in the mirror You can do that. It doesn't take that long. You now have the stepping stones. You aren't saying, right, this is my New Year's resolution, but I've got no idea how to get there. Because on your mind map, it tells you how to get there. And I have this is my lose 6K. And it literally says exercise 5 times a week, run 2 times a week, 3K at least, cross train 2 times per week, 5K, walk every day. And then it does say, excuse my language, stop eating shit. And that is my daily reminder. It sits on my desk every time I want to go get some biscuits or chocolate or crisps, all of those things. My little map is there like, no, you can't do this. So you now created that. You've got your stepping stones. You've got like a Lego manual to how you're going to achieve that goal in Q1. And you've got a cut-off date. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you accountable. So anyone that's on the call or anyone that is listening to the replay, if you email me with your goal, then I will add you to the list as well. But at the end of March, I am going to send out some emails asking what you've done, whether you've hit that goal. That's me keeping you accountable. So now you know you've got time ticking. And hi, Veronica. We have started, so you might need to catch some of this on the replay, but I will send that over. It'll probably be tomorrow now because it's night time in the UK. So yeah, I'm going to keep you accountable to your goals and I'll be checking in on you. The Q2 goal setting, I do only do with my one-to-one clients or people that are in the Unbreakable program, formerly called Healing to Date. But I'm going to give you just one little extra tip. So this is the cycle of change. If you read a textbook about this, then it will obviously look slightly different to this because the wording is different. But I like to make it as simple as possible for people. But this is the process of how you make changes to your life. And it starts with no intention. So that isn't anyone here because you're here. So you have some sort of intention. And then you go on to thinking about it. Thinking about, I want to make changes. And then you plan it. And like I said before, this is the part that people miss. They don't plan out what they want to do or how they're going to do it. They just say they're going to do it. So you plan it, which is where you're at now because you've just planned it out. And you're going to start taking steps, maybe immediately today. You might start taking those steps. And then eventually you will get round to maintaining. Whatever changes you want to make, if you plan it and you take the steps, you will end up in the maintenance stage. And that is just keeping going. And then every so often, people will go into setback stage. And this is where people fall off. And, I've done it where I think that I've failed and I've stopped doing something. And when I used to smoke many years ago, I used to smoke and I would go through this cycle. I'm going to change, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to, I'm going to do it on this date, and I'm going to get an app that tells me how healthy I am now, and all of this. And then all of a sudden I would just slip up and have one and feel like I was back to the beginning, starting again. But then when I actually learned about this and how it's not just in a straight line and then you go straight back to the beginning, it's back and forth and back and forth. When I did actually stop smoking and I went off to a festival and I smoked all weekend, on the Monday, I was back to being a non-smoker because it was just a setback. When we start to think that a setback is a failure and we're back at the beginning, is when we actually are failing ourselves. Because it's not. You already got to that point. You've already done the things to get you there. So you may have taken a few steps backwards, but you're not back at the beginning. And you don't need to treat yourself and your life as though you are back at the beginning. And I know when I used to work with people who were suffering from addictions, they would go and, you know, they would be off whatever their substance of choice was. They'd be off it. And then all of a sudden they'd come in and be like, Sam, I've failed. And I would say to them, well, you haven't failed because you already got to that point. You're not starting again because you already know where you are. Like you already know like what you've got to do. So it's not a complete failure. And people forget that. So if you take away anything from this whole thing, whenever you feel like something is a failure, is a setback, just remember that it's just a continuous circle going back and forth. And no one's failing at anything because you can try again. You're not back at the beginning. So, sorry, you're going to hear me moving things around. The last thing that I want you to do today, and this isn't always to everyone's taste, so but this is something that I do every single day. I do a version of meditation, a version of visualization. When I started doing this, it changed my life. So this is what I want you to do. It's a 4-minute one. I'm going to start some music. Just make sure that you are sitting comfortably. And I hope that you can hear me. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a big, deep breath in through the nose. Hold it for a second. And then breathe out of the mouth. And I want you to do this 3 times. Now bring your attention to your body. Drop your shoulders and release any tension. I want you to imagine you are in a forest. You just stepped over the last stepping stone to reach your goal. The air is cold on your face. You can smell the grass. You can hear the leaves rustling. This is your safe space. And as you round the corner, standing there in front of you is you. The 2026 you of the future. And future you is standing tall, smiling, radiating happiness. And they're telling you everything worked out. You are loved. You are happy. And they may even tell you how you got there, what you need to do. And if they have, if that little voice in your head is telling you something, make a mental note of it. Now I want you to grab their hand, visualize a bright white light making you one. And I want you to think and imagine your goal has been achieved. How does it feel? Does it feel great? Are you excited? Take a moment to feel that before you start coming back to me. Wiggle your fingers and your toes and open your eyes. And if you want to take a minute to write down anything that came up for you, go and do that now. I'll just give you a minute. Each visualization is personal. You will have heard me saying the same things, but what will have come up for you will be completely different to someone else that listens, because it's your success journey. I do this all the time, and everything that I have seen has happened. When I saw new friends, they naturally came into my life. And if you've listened to the podcast, you'll have heard me talk about my wonderful friendship group, because I didn't have good friends before. I saw in a visualization once that I would work for myself. And at the time it was pretty unimaginable. And here I am. And many, many moons ago, I saw a man, and I didn't really know what was going to happen with that. And, you know, he's downstairs. I'm married to him now. So. And the person I saw in my visualization was pretty much a spitting image of him. So I do truly believe that you get back what you put out. So if you are putting out positive vibes and you're thinking about positive things and you're visualizing positive things, then you will get back those positive things. But if you're thinking negatively, guess what? That's what you're going to get back. Because the universe cannot actually tell the difference between wants. If you're saying, oh, I don't want this, if you're putting it out there, it gets a little bit confused. And believe me, I know this. So we don't need any negativity in our lives. The Unbreakable program will be opening up the doors again, 4 days only, end of January. So watch out for your emails then. I will be sending you gift number 5 tomorrow. And yeah, thank you. I'll just put it in there. Oh, I disconnected my... And if you haven't got my playlist, I would absolutely recommend that you add that to your Spotify, or just like if you've got, just go through the list and add it to whatever your playlist is, because every time I feel sad, every time I feel angry, whatever I feel, and I need a bit of motivation, I play my playlist and it just builds a fire. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and bye. So there you have it. You are going to make 2025 the best year that you ever had, because you've already seen it. It's already happened. It's going to be amazing. Just some little pointers. Obviously, that was the live video. It was for people that are on my email list. I have been doing a 12 gifts of January email, which every day the people on my email list are getting a little gift from me that can improve their performance in life and just help them love themselves a little bit more. The workshop was part of one of the gifts. If you are not on my email list and you want to get access to those gifts, send me an email at sam@thesammorris.com. I'll get you added. I will get those gifts sent out to you. My playlist is a game changer for anyone. I played this for my son before his last football game and he scored, and it worked, and it works for me every single time. So send me an email, get yourself on the list and get your free gifts. Today will be gift number 5 going out. By the time this podcast episode goes out, gift number 5 should have already gone out to everyone. I will speak to you next week. I'm so excited to see how your 2025 is going to go. Thank you. Sam here again. You may have heard me talk in the workshop about the Unbreakable program, and I just wanted to hop on for a few minutes just to explain what it is. The Unbreakable program will be opening its doors again at the end of January for 4 days only, and I cannot wait for you to see inside. Formerly called the Healing to Date program, so if you've listened to this podcast for a while, you'd have heard me talk about the program that I created to heal myself from my childhood, from my toxic relationships, from every friendship that I had ever had up until that point. I healed myself, I discovered myself, and my life got better. And this program changed my life, and it's changed countless number of other people's lives. And I am opening the doors again to all of you guys, because I want you to absolutely stick with this. Make 2025 the best year that you've ever had. You've already seen what can happen in a year with your future self vision. This program is 30 days long. It will help you discover everything that you need to know about what's been holding you back, how to boost your confidence, and how to stop letting fear, anxiety, and any of those other negative emotions from preventing you from having the life that you deserve. If you are interested in making 2025 the best year you ever had, get yourself on the waiting list. The link is down below. Speak soon.